Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Tuesday, February 10th, 2018. Wasn't a great start to the week, at least for me. It was a little bit weird, a little gap up on Monday, and then we kind of shook both ways, messed us up on some futures calls, and the stock stuff wasn't real clean either, so I didn't see anything I loved for the day. I commented earlier I didn't really like the way it was playing, and played out accordingly. So let's go through the major daily charts. Here's the ES front month futures contract. Up a little in the end, but still below that 10-day moving average on the daily chart. Let's go through the daily charts of a bunch of these indices, then we'll look at the intraday action we'll talk about tomorrow. So we've got a cup and handle potentially forming on crude oil. It was up $1.27 to 63.32. Obviously, a breakout here in a couple of weeks could be big and would probably lead to higher prices at the pump as we head into summer. Gold up $1.90. That's more of a blip. S&P cash index up $8.69. It's a small gain. Remember, it actually closed lower than it opened, although it was much higher in the middle of the day. So that reversal late in the day is a significant thing. SOX up $8.55. NDX up 39.13. Again, all these the same, right? They opened, they traded much higher, they closed just under their opening. Biotech's the only one closed above the opening, up 56.6, but this one's way off the highs anyways. VIX gains 28 cents in the end to 21.77. The trend closes at 0.95. 10-day moving average at 1.26, but we've got some big numbers over 2.5 and over 3 that need to drop off that moving average, so that's going to keep it up for a while. NASDAQ volume was like 2 billion shares. It was really strong early, and that's what's interesting. It really dropped off in the second half. We were really tracking for about a 2.5 billion share day and ended up with our lightest volume in 3 weeks. So that's significant, and that might have also contributed to some of the problems. Advanced decline ratio on the NASDAQ, this is interesting. So again, we've talked about the advanced decline ratio not being in sync with the indices, and obviously the indices are a lot of times just a couple of stocks, but still, when you've got the NASDAQ up much higher during the day, but closing up 39, here we go we were negative 928. That means 928 more stocks down than up on the NASDAQ, despite being up on the NASDAQ index by quite a bit. And all the indices were up. And then even on the New York, advanced decline ratio is negative 113. So very strange. Google closes up $10.14. So a small gain there for Google. That's what helps the NASDAQ be up. Apple up $1.67. Obviously helps the NASDAQ. Netflix up $1.08. Obviously helps the NASDAQ. Amazon up 85 cents. Tesla loses $9.64. So that's a loss on one of the big ones there. This one doesn't look that great. Now on the daily chart, TLT up 20 cents. That's the 20-year bond ETF. Climbing back up. Doesn't suggest higher rates there. Goldman Sachs up 222. So overall, it looks positive, but the advanced decline ratio being negative is not a positive in a different sense for the market. And here's a look at the intraday action. 5-minute candles. You can see the gap up, a slight pullback, went higher, bounced off the opening level, climbed ahead of lunch. Then we got into lunch. We were kind of flat. We tried to break out to new highs just before lunch ended, and then the sell-off after that. Now, there were rumors, and this may or may not play into it. Well, not rumors. It's a fact now that the FBI sees documents from Trump's lawyer's office. Looks like it's related to the Stormy Daniels case more than the Russia stuff, but I'm not sure if that's what caused the sell-off or not. NASDAQ side, here's the same story. You can see it ended up closing lower than it opened. So all those that were buying early and then the volume dropped off. And look at the futures volume. It makes it look like it was even for the day. Like the front and the back half of the day both had good volume. But again, we were tracking really strong volume early morning, and we ended up not doing very well on the NASDAQ side. So that's kind of interesting to watch on top of it. Definitely a strange market from that scenario. In terms of economic data coming out tomorrow, we've got the NFIB Small Business Index. This thing, I don't even know what this thing is. It comes out at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. Who's up at that time? PPI at 8:30. That's an hour before the bell. Final wholesale inventory is 30 minutes into the market. And that's about it. We will see. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are usually the better trading days of the week. And so we'll look and see what we can find. Hope for some better action. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading Tuesday.